a more just union. The names of a few remarkable Western women, perhaps Montana's Jeanette Rankin, the first woman elected to the U.S. Congress, or Annie Oakley, the non-resident apotheosis of the new cowgirl, may be familiar, but most are not. They include Oregon's Abigail Scott Duniway, the mother of Western suffrage, Nebraska's Susan LaFleche Bacot, the nation's first Native American physician, New Mexico's Adelina Nina Otero Warren, a chic Hispanic educator and politician, Elizabeth Ensley, a black teacher, clubwoman, and co-founder of Colorado's Nonpartisan Equal Suffrage Association, and Lalu Nathoy, a Chinese woman who escaped slavery in the sex trade to become Polly Bemis, a pioneer homesteader in Idaho. American women's struggle for equality did not begin, nor has it ended, with suffrage, the right to vote in national and local elections, sit on juries, and run for elected office, but remains an incremental social, economic, and political process. Before it was so vividly illustrated in the 19th century West, the connection between women's socioeconomic status and their rights was highlighted in a handful of states during and just after the Revolution. While men waged the war, many wives capably ran their families' enterprises. Abigail Adams operated the farm she shared with the future president and sold her butter and eggs for extra money. Mary Catherine Goddard assumed her brother's duties as publisher of the Maryland Journal and the Baltimore Advertiser, and soon after became Baltimore's postmaster. In recognition of such enterprise and patriotism, the governments of New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, and New Hampshire allowed women to vote. The Jerseyites held on till 1807, but after the men returned from war, most had been disenfranchised by the time of the Constitution's ratification in 1788. Indeed, American women were citizens in name only. In principle, citizenship is a constellation of civic rights such as voting, and responsibilities such as paying taxes. In reality, it is also a status that involves complex entitlements, which in America was first limited to white men, initially landowners, whose ability to maintain and protect a household qualified them to participate in public affairs. By age-old law and custom, women, much like the enslaved, were not allowed to meet those criteria. They had no official place in civic life and very few legal rights. According to the country's version of English common law, a femme sole, or single woman, could at least own property and make contracts in her own name. Almost all women married then, however, and a wife became a femme covered, who was covered by, or officially absorbed into, her husband's person. In exchange for his support and protection, she was legally obliged to serve and obey him. Her public persona consisted of being his spouse and the mother of his offspring. She could not own, inherit, or control property, including her earnings, sue in court, run a business, divorce, or even claim custody of her own children. As the Industrial Revolution gathered steam in a rapidly urbanizing America, women's status, at least those of adequate to ample means in towns and cities, initially declined still further. In the old agrarian economy, home and work were intermeshed on farms where the labor of both sexes sustained the family. Now they became very different places, especially in the booming metropolises, where men's jobs in the new factories and offices supported their wives and children. Eager to codify this huge shift, an anxious Victorian establishment co-signed the sexes to what were routinely called separate spheres. Men were given the public world of industry and commerce, law and politics. Women were confined to the private world of the home, where their increasingly elaborate housework and childcare were no longer deemed economic contributions, but acts of unselfish love. Agrarian women